Hello and welcome back to the channel, everyone. It's always great to have you here, but unfortunately, tonight we're coming off the back of a match that didn't go quite the way we wanted. Barcelona have dropped points against Real Betis in Laliga, and I know it's disappointing. I know the emotions are high. We wanted the win, we needed the win, and frankly, we should have gotten the win. First off, I want to apologize for not being able to bring you the usual pre-match build-up this weekend. Life has been extremely hectic behind the scenes lately, and I've been completely stretched for time. But now, with this match in the books and some massive fixtures coming up, I had to sit down and break things down with all of you. Because as always, this is more than a game. It's passion, it's community, and it's the relentless pursuit of glory for this football club that we all love. Let's talk about tonight's game. Because it wasn't a disaster by any means, but it was a missed opportunity. This was a match where we had the chance to extend our lead at the top of the league table. Real Madrid had already dropped points earlier in the day, and this was our moment to really drive home our advantage. We had control for large portions of the game. We created chances, and yet, we just couldn't put the finishing touch on it. On another night, that's a win for Barcelona, no question. We convert even one or two of those key chances, and it's 3 points in the bag. Ferran had his opportunities, Lewandowski had a couple of openings, and Lamine Yamal once again showed why he's such a promising talent. The signs were there. The football was flowing at times. The intent was clear. But in football, intent doesn't always equal results. That final pass, that final decision in the box, it just wasn't quite sharp enough tonight. And when you're up against a side like Real Betis, a team in red-hot form with quality all over the pitch, you have to be clinical. Betis didn't come into this game just to defend. They were dangerous on the counter, disciplined in defense, and showed exactly why they've been on such an excellent run of form in recent weeks. And credit where it's due, Betis played their part. They made things difficult. They sat deep when they needed to, but they also picked their moments. You could feel the tension anytime they surged forward. There's no doubt in my mind that this was one of our more difficult games remaining in the domestic season. And all things considered, a point away to Betis isn't a disaster. It's just frustrating because of the context. We know what could have been. Now, about the goal we conceded, there's a real sting there. Set pieces, guys. Set pieces. We cannot keep conceding from these situations. It's not the first time this season. And unless it's addressed properly, it won't be the last. The corner comes in, our marking is questionable, and there's that split-second lapse that costs us. Szczesny comes for it. Maybe he should have stayed, maybe he should have gotten there quicker, but either way, it's a goal that didn't have to happen. That's the real disappointment. When you concede a brilliant goal from open play, sometimes you just have to clap and move on. But these kind of soft goals, these avoidable goals, they're momentum killers. And at this level, you can't afford to gift opponents anything. Now, let's talk about Rafinha. Once again, not in the starting 11. That's becoming a bit of a trend now. Since returning from the international break, things have felt a little off for him. A little disjointed. He comes off the bench, and you can see the effort. He's trying to make something happen. But it's clear he's not quite in rhythm right now. And that brings us to a bigger point. There has been disruption. That international break came at the wrong time for us. We were building momentum, finding rhythm, and now we're trying to get that engine revving again? But here's the key takeaway from tonight, and I want to emphasize this to everyone watching. Do not panic. This is not the time to spiral into negativity. We are still unbeaten. We have still gained a point on Real Madrid. We are still in control of our own destiny in La Liga. And most importantly, we have bigger things ahead. Because next week, it's the Champions League quarterfinals. That's the big one. That's the focus. Borussia Dortmund awaits, and that is where the spotlight turns now. This is the business end of the season. Every performance counts. Every decision counts. Every player who steps onto that pitch has to be fully focused, fully committed, and ready to leave everything out there. So, this draw, we move on from it. we take the lessons, we regroup, and we lock in for what's ahead. Let's take a quick look at some of the individual performances tonight, because I think it's worth asking the question, who really stepped up tonight? Who showed they deserve a place in that starting 11 against Dortmund? For me, Pedri was once again instrumental. He controlled the tempo when he was on the ball, looked to create, and never stopped moving. Frankie de Jong showed composure as always. And Ronald Araujo at the back continues to be a rock, though even he will be disappointed with the goal we conceded. Gavi put in a typically tireless shift, and I thought Cancelo had some decent moments going forward as well. But, if we're honest, there are a few players who need to give more. The energy, the sharpness, the hunger, it's got to be at maximum now. There's no room for complacency. This is where you separate the good from the great. So as we look ahead to that massive European night, I want to hear from all of you. Let's get the conversation going in the comments. Who stood out for you in tonight's match? Who do you think has done enough to earn a starting place against Dortmund? And who, perhaps, needs to take a seat on the bench? I want your full lineup predictions. I want your tactical thoughts. Because this is where the season is won or lost. These are the nights where legends are made. This is what we live for as fans of this club. Now, before we wrap up, let me just say, take a breath. One draw does not define our season. One frustrating result does not undo the hard work we've put in. We are still on track. The title is still very much within our grasp. And the Champions League? That dream is still alive too. Stay confident. Stay together. Support the team. This is the final stretch. And with your passion, your energy, and your belief, we can push this team over the finish line. So, thank you all for being here tonight. Thanks for your loyalty, your support, and your voice. I'll be back very soon with a big Champions League build-up video. You won't want to miss it. We'll break down Dortmund, look at tactics, predicted lineups, key players, everything. Until then, take care, stay positive, and, as always, Visca el Barça.